Okay, I'm hoping we are live now in the live stream. Okay, we're live now. Okay, I'm hoping we are live now in the live stream. And I think I've got to change. I actually had I, if you're just joining me, I did have the stream actually connected to the one with the fancy thumbnail, but we don't now. So I'm gonna change this live right now in my YouTube studio so that it reflects what we're actually talking about today, and that way everyone knows what we're doing. And if you're just joining us, welcome. Some exciting announcements right now with the Freeze Dry Business channel and all everything that we do here, and that is that we are officially live with registration for the first ever freeze dried conference. It's called the Freeze Dried Summit of all things. It's going to be located in Boise, Idaho this September 22nd and 23rd. It's a 2-day event. In fact, if you want to come in on Sunday, the 21st, since I live here in Boise, Idaho, I'm going to host somewhat of a get together. And so if you're able to make it here on Sunday, I'm going to have kind of an informal get together in some capacity. So it could be a 3-day event for you. Boise, Idaho, if you're not familiar, is a very fast growing city. I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I would say that I'm a native because I did move away a couple of years for my wife's graduate school program, but now I'm back and raising a family here and having a freeze drying business, starting this YouTube channel. It's all great. So if you're just joining, then welcome. And we're live right now with the Freeze Dried Business channel. We're talking about the Freeze Dried Summit, which is the uh, the first ever conference that this particular channel is going to host, and I'm hoping that this is going to lead to a lot more. I'm currently editing right now as we speak. I'm trying to multitask. I'm trying to edit everything that I had originally into the description and everything so that you know exactly what we're all talking about today. And so right now what yep, there we go. Okay, Freeze Dried Summit Open, how to register. That is the title. I do need to edit the thumbnail real quick because everyone loves a good image to make sure we have the image on there. So let me edit that. Um, I'll get to the chats in a second, but if you haven't done so already, right now, if you want to know what the Freeze Dried Summit is all about, the first ever conference in the business side of freeze drying, even just freeze drying in general, go to the video description right now. I just saved it, and you can take a look at the the freeze dried business for the freezedriedsummit.com website. It's got full registration on there. Right now, you can do early bird registration and early bird pricing. Really good price I'm giving you right now. It's only going to be limited, for a limited amount of time because this is a huge lift for me to put on a conference like this, and I want to make sure it's a very well organized conference for you to attend. If you're going to pay for plane tickets, pay for hotel to come here, and pay for this ticket, I'm going to make sure it's worth your while. And so today in the live stream, what we are going to be talking about is I'm potentially going to screen share the actual registration so I can walk you through exactly how to go through it. It's fairly easy if you haven't done so already. And I'm also going to go through why you should attend, who should attend, because you're probably wondering, am I the right fit for someone to pay? Early bird pricing right now is $197 for this 2-day conference, but are you the right fit for that? We're going to talk about that because I think there's a lot of people that fit within this, and so we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to reveal to you some of the topics that are not currently on the site right now, but you can scroll down to the very bottom of the homepage and you can see the schedule of events of what this event is going to be like. But we're going to have a general session And we're also going to have breakout sessions. Um, I I asked a lot of you who have subscribed and followed my channel for quite a bit to fill out a survey about what type of topics would make sense for you to want to pay to come to a conference. And a lot of it was breakout sessions and people leading those sessions who are experts in various different categories and fields and topics related to business. Some of it is beginner level. A lot of us are starting a small business just out of our home. So 101, business 101, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to lead an actual breakout session myself and give you an idea of how to start a freeze drying business from scratch. So that's one is you'll hear from me, and then we'll have a keynote on Monday, working on another keynote on a general session for Tuesday, and we'll have a total of probably 9 different breakout sessions in total throughout this 2-day event. So a lot of opportunities for topics. We're going to talk about some of the ones that I have confirmed already. Let me get to the chat right here. Sandra, you saying hi, hello, welcome to the live stream about the freeze dried summit. And so I'm going to save this real quick here and get this all detailed for the summit right here. If you're just now joining me, my name is David. I'm a owner of a freeze dry business in Idaho. It's called Freeze Dry Depot, and I'm also the host of this freeze dry business channel. And I'm really excited that you're here because I can officially start on my agenda here, and that is that we're excited to announce as a part of this freeze dry business channel that you are now available to register for the Freeze Dry Business Summit. Now, this is a business summit. If you are just a homesteader or you're prepping or you're just doing home freeze drying, this is not the right fit for you because although it's about freeze drying, this is going to be tailored to people who are wanting to start or have already started and growing a business in the process of freeze drying. And that's what I've designed this channel to be about. Is it's very niche, and it's very unique in terms of the content that I'm delivering to you all. But if you've seen some of the content I've been posting, like Stensland Family Farms. This company is in Iowa, started freeze drying their homemade ice cream that they make. They have retail ice cream shops, and they started experimenting with freeze drying, and now that's like their best product now, and they're growing nationwide. So it's possible for you, and I'm trying to connect you more in person with an event. And this freeze dried summit is going to be really focused on equipping you with one, a network of people that you are going to meet in person that are running freeze drying businesses. There's going to be OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. There's going to be people here that have home freeze dryers, making home freeze dryers. And there's also going to be the commercial freeze dryer companies that are going to be here. There's going to be people from here that you know from YouTube that are going to be attending this event. There's going to be entrepreneurs that you haven't heard of before. And the reason you're going to be able to meet all these people and be connected is because I've connected with them over the past 2.5 years. And that's what I'm bringing to you and delivering to you is an opportunity for you to meet in person one time this year, everyone that could inspire you to create your own process and learn from them. On top of that, there's a lot of experts in the field that I've met that have a lot of information and value to bring to you. From everything that I've heard from people is, how do I actually, what does a freeze dried business look like? If I started off with a home freeze dryer like a Harvest Right, a Blue Alpine, a Stay Fresh, how do I kind of navigate going from that in cottage food to a commercial, like local kitchen. I've done that. Well, I've got experience in that. What I don't have experience in is going to that next level, which is how do I develop a package that can really showcase and really highlight a unique brand in the marketplace that has gas stations, distributors, all types of retail shops saying, "I want your product." That's what I'm going to bring to the table and bring experts to know how to brand yourself in marketing and packaging food products. Secondly, is how do you financially figure out whether you have a unique product enough to where how do you not go overboard and buy 20 different home freeze dryers and have all that maintenance? How do you go to more of a commercial scale where you can have consistent freeze drying recipes every single time you put it in? If you put in 90 pounds of product, you know you're going to get a consistent freeze dried product every time, and that way you can forecast that out. That's what these like larger commercial freeze drying companies really are going to be offering a lot more subject matter about that. And so I'm really excited to bring all these people together. And if you want to attend, today is the official day that the registration is open now for the conference. And you can go to freezedriedsummit.com, bookmark it, send it out to your friends who are in freeze drying. Let them know that there's a conference that you can attend in Boise, Idaho, September 22nd and 23rd. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So um, now let me get to the chats here. Nathan, hello. You've been a long time subscriber. Welcome. Thanks for joining me on the stream. And how's everybody doing? Valentine's Day is over. That was a big rush for a lot of us in the freeze drying space. Now we're moving on to Easter. There's spring break. I don't know about you, but for if you haven't no, followed me for very long about my freeze drying business, for me, I've got 3 freeze dryers. I've got a commercial kitchen. I've scaled back in my freeze drying business over the past year or so because I've really grown to like this YouTube content and doing more with this, and it's just allowed me to kind of manage it the way I want to. And for me, this particular time of year, February heading into March, all of a sudden I get a lot of my wholesale clients and my consignment stores that I'm in and my seasonal people that want to order from me. All of a sudden they start kind of thinking like, oh, we've got to start setting up and cleaning up our shop, getting ready for spring, getting ready for summer, farmers markets. It's all happening right now. So it's actually getting to be a very busy time. And in fact, today I packaged up and I've got a delivery out to 2 of my customers who they just reordered it again. So it's all happening. So if you want to chat with me on the chat, I'm live right now and can answer any questions that you have about the conference, about freeze drying. That's what we're doing on Slime Stream, is to announce that officially registration is open. You can sign up for early bird. Um, Cookie Corn. Hey, that's a great username. Caught the live. Yeah, welcome. I hope on a Friday at wherever you're at. Right now it's 11:45 a.m. Mountain Time in Boise, Idaho. That's where I live. Right outside, I can see the foothills of Boise, Idaho, and so wherever you live, maybe you're on lunch, maybe you're just getting back from lunch, and you're in that food coma, and you're like, I need something to kind of boost my day. Hey, here's David from the Freeze Dry Business Channel, and I'm here to boost your day because you can meet me. You can meet other people in freeze drying in September. And I'm excited to meet a lot of you as well, because if you're going to attend this, it's going to be a limited amount of attendees. I'm limiting it to just a small amount of people, like maybe even 150 people. And that for me, that's a large amount of people, right? I mean, for the first conference, but I want this to be an intimate opportunity for all of us to connect. And it's not going to be some expo. You're not going to be walking through big hallways and convention centers that you've maybe been to for conferences. This is a very intentional conference to help equip you to be inspired to start a freeze drying business and know how to start it. Everything from recipe creation to how do I legally get my business started? How do I start it from a more inexpensive way? How do I get it to a more larger scale? So if you're a large scale freeze drying business and you're watching this and you're a subscriber of the channel, or you're not, I'm going to have large freeze drying companies coming here as well. Large would be people doing this full time, people who you see on TikTok and Instagram, and also people that you don't really know about. You don't have to say freeze drying on your product. You use the freeze drying process to make a product. So a lot of times people have a freeze drying business, but you would never know that because their product is branded differently. that's a lot of value to you as well. As something doesn't have to be labeled freeze dried, it can be something else. For example, Mars Wrigley, when they came out with their freeze dried Skittles Popped brand back this past fall when they launched it, it's called Skittles Popped. It says freeze dried candy on the bag, but it's Skittles Popped. That's their brand. That's what they're calling it. So there's a lot of ways for you to innovate in the freeze drying space. And if you're a large company, this is going to be a great conference for you because it's not just for the small businesses. These are I'm trying to connect you with a lot of the commercial freeze drying companies, people that can help you with automation. I mean, think about right now, if you're a cottage food operator and you are bagging stuff like I've been for the past 5 years. I'm a small business, but I'm packaging things by hand. You're sealing things by hand, all that type of stuff that you haven't really been exposed to how people are doing it, where they're saving time and money through having a more systematic process, something that's doing it for them, and measuring all the weight for the different candies, the strawberries, the meals, all of that. All of that can be automated. All of that is what companies right now are doing. They just kind of they probably took a lot of time to figure out what their process would be like, but freeze drying in this industry right now is very new for a lot of us. And so we're what this event is going to do for you is connect you with people and suppliers and vendors that are going to help you better understand what a freeze drying business process looks like, from operations to marketing and all that. So if you're just now joining the live stream, welcome. And we're just going to be live. I don't know, just a little bit longer, probably till maybe like 15 after the hour. And reason being is we're just going to be uh, chatting about the fact that the Freeze Dried Summit is now open for registration. If you're not a part of my email list, I have an active email list where I deliver content out to all of my email subscribers about one the a little bit more of like behind the scenes, a little bit more commentary about the videos that I'm producing on YouTube. There's also opportunities today that I'm releasing now in 2025 for you to connect with some of these entrepreneurs and get some live Q&A as well. Um, right now, later this afternoon, we're going to do another live stream, but it's only going to be available live to people who are on my subscriber on my email subscriber list. And it's with Stensland Family Farms. Justin and Jason Stensland, the brothers who started this company, they're going to be live for 45 minutes, and they're going to talk about their business, how they started in freeze drying. I visited them back in August of 2024, and now that it's been 6 months since then, we're going to talk about what types of things have they had to deal with. TikTok Shop was a huge sales uh, funnel for them in their business. But with it shutting down briefly and all that kind of uh, uh, information coming out, and possibly it being shut down again, how is that going to impact their sales? How are they overcoming that? And then also, I'm going to be answering questions as well for you. And we can do that live. Then I will post the recording on YouTube for everyone to see that kind of conversation. But that's what's going to be exclusive to email subscribers, is specific like live conversations with an entrepreneur who's doing freeze drying, that you can ask directly questions that you might have that you just need answered. And maybe I'm not answering that. Maybe other YouTubers aren't answering that. Maybe you can't find that information. You can ask it to a live entrepreneur who's doing freeze drying right now. So that's going to be available. Um, let's go to the chats right here. DIY, glad I made it live. Welcome. Awesome. All right. Wish I could make it out. Hoping you had a streaming ticket option. Um, yes, I'm not going to have necessarily like a streaming like live. To be honest, it's a lot of work, as I've kind of researched different conferences and how they structure actual online and live virtual attendance. It's a big task, and I would need someone on staff there at the conference to kind of run that, making sure it's connected and everything. There is there are cameras at this hotel and conference area that I'm looking at hosting the conference. There's cameras, there's some recording options. So I am going to do my best to record those sessions so that one, the attendees, if you purchase, you're going to have those playbacks from breakout sessions and those sessions that we can record. That's going to be available and included in your ticket purchase. So you're going to have access to that. And then for everyone else after that, I'm going to do my best to offer some type of package for the recording later on, but there's no guarantees for this first year. So I'm going to do my best to do that. Lori, thanks for joining the live stream. Awesome. Yeah, so lots of exciting things. If you're just now joining the live stream, one, my name's David. If you're not familiar with me, I host the Freeze Dry Business Channel, and we are officially launching today the registration for the first ever freeze drying conference that you've probably heard of. I've heard of. It's coming, and it's all organized by this channel. It's called the Freeze Dried Summit, and right now you can go to the video description right now, and you can sign up for early bird registration. It's $197 right now. It's only going to be available for a limited time at that price, and it's going to be located in Boise, Idaho. And Boise, Idaho is where I live. It's a great place. It's in September 22nd and 23rd. That is a pretty much everywhere. I don't know where a bad place is weather-wise in mid-September, but it's going to be a beautiful time of year to come. It's also on a Monday and Tuesday, so it's going to be fairly easier to get a ticket to get here airline-wise, and it's also more inexpensive. I'm getting some pretty good rates with some hotels that'll make it affordable. And if some of my sponsors come through, which I'm hoping for here, is I'm going to be able to secure this really posh hotel that's really going to impress you. I'm really proud of it, and I can't announce it yet because I just don't want to promise that. But I've got this one. I've got a couple venues that I'm looking at, and this one is just I can't get away from like not thinking that we're not going to have the conference there. So. Um, hoping that in. So it's going to be great. And it's all going to be in one location. The main ballroom is upstairs and on like the eighth floor. The all the breakout sessions are down on the second floor. The hotel rooms are super nice, and they've quoted me a really nice rate for the hotel. So as soon as I kind of know how many people are doing this early bird registration, it'll give me a good idea of how many rooms to reserve with my contract so that I can extend that price to all of you. So um, now a couple things about the conference as well. Just so you know, is it's in September. You can sign up right now with the Freeze Dried Summit. I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to share the Freeze Dried Summit website. So you're going to get to see this. I'm pretty sure you're seeing this right now because it's showing that on my screen. But this is the Freeze Dried Drying Summit website. Very professional. Spent a lot of time. Had a team help me with this, and you can find out all the information that you need to have about this particular conference. One, you can purchase directly early bird tickets right here. I've got a hype video that you can watch on YouTube, either through the YouTube channel or right here. And also, I want to talk about this right here. Why would you want to attend? I talked about this early on in the stream. So if you're just now joining, if it's a repeat, I apologize. But one, this is a conference all about freeze drying in the business side of things. And you don't have to have an existing business right now to attend this conference, eh, but it's also beneficial for you to have an idea or you're like planning to. And so, if you're going to spend the money to come here, one, you're going to get education and innovative type of speakers and content coming and presenting different topics about freeze drying. Now, it's about what the process of freeze drying is. How do you become a better freeze dryer in terms of operations? It's going through 101, like how do you actually organize a business legally that does food processing? What are the kind of the safety standards food wise that you need to go through? How do you start equipping yourself to sell online? How do you sell to wholesale? How do you figure out your packaging? What should you have on your packaging? And then for the people who are going to be attending or you want to attend who have a full time freeze drying business and you're wanting to level up, you're wanting to scale, and because you just can't keep up with demand or you want to get more demand, this is going to be the conference for you. A lot of the vendors and suppliers that I'm going to have come here and the sponsors are really equipped to help you scale. And scaling meaning I've experienced businesses that have a dozen to 20 home freeze dryers. Okay, that's a lot of maintenance, and I know why they bought them. I know why a lot of you buy home freeze dryers to have a business. It's because it's inexpensive. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? To have a $5,000 XL freeze dryer from Harvest Right because they're the only ones that have that type of capacity. Now, I am aware of some other companies that are coming out with some competing sizes to that here soon. And but the commercial freeze drying companies have been around for quite a while. I mean, people freeze dry pet food at a large scale. People freeze dry meals. People freeze dry pharmaceutical things. They freeze dry, you know, mushrooms, beets, all types of stuff that are good vitamins for you. And then they mill it, meaning they powderize it after it's dried, and then they put it in supplement capsules, all that type of stuff. So it's been around for a long time. And so these companies know and have a huge portfolio of clients that they work with who are actively freeze drying. And they're going to be able to tell you and all of us, here's what's possible with freeze drying. Like, here's our clients are doing this. They started in it at this level and now they moved up to this. This is why a $500,000 freeze dryer is not so daunting for you if you look at it this way. Here's some options for lower than that. And so some of you might be like, David, $500,000? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I looked at it that way too, but I'm starting to realize that if I really truly wanted to scale my business, there's a lot of ways for me to not only just freeze dry my own product, but I can also open it up for freeze drying other people's products as well to fill that gap. So I know I'm talking a lot here, but why should you attend? Education, innovation. We're going to have a lot of different types of speakers, breakout sessions, main panel, keynote speakers that are going to be talking and giving you that information. The big piece of this, though, think about the connections that you're going to have at this conference. This is why I'm doing it too. I talk with a lot of you. I've done consults over a live Zoom call with different people who are looking at starting a business. I've also talked with a lot of people over email, text messages. I've visited people. And the one thing that I'm seeing is that there's this gap in connection in person. People are aware of my videos because I'm kind of the only person that's creating business related YouTube videos on freeze drying. But there's also like not a whole lot of people that know that there's a lot of people freeze drying as a business, that people are making money, that people are doing unique things. And there's also people that want to connect. So if you're looking for networking and you want to develop relationships with people that are close to you or around the country, build up your LinkedIn network, build up your phone and text messaging thing. This is going to be the conference for you because I know a lot of people. I mean, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, like, I've connected with a lot of people, and this is going to be the conference for sure that I'm going to bring everybody. I'm not going to beg them. I'm just going to tell them, like, this is what I've done for you. I've highlighted your business. I've highlighted your company. I've told you and helped and equipped you with information. You're going to attend this conference. So it's just because I see it as so valuable this first year, especially, and we're going to make it better. And one thing too about this, sorry to ramble, but when you're attending this conference, part of my goal too is to have a volunteer kind of committee opportunity to really help this event grow for the years to come. Because if this conference is successful, I know that a lot of you are going to start talking with other people and they want to be able to attend something like this. And I'm going to need people to help me reach other people and know what type of topics and different categories and things, how to make this better once we come into a second year and a third year, that type of thing. So if you're passionate about freeze drying just like me, and you're like, I want to be a part of this, I want to feel like I can take part in this, I want to volunteer, I want to just help out, this is the conference where we're going to create those types of committees. So moving on, and then I'll get to the chats here. But moving on with my shared screen here, I'm hoping that you guys are seeing this. Okay, awesome. I just looked at my studio and I saw that I'm sharing it. Okay, so um, who should attend? We already went through that. You can kind of see that through here, what to expect, keynote speaker, social events. You can also sponsor this. So if you're live here and you're watching this video, you can sponsor the conference. I've got some really unique opportunities for you to sponsor. It's not just sponsorship for me. It's not just about seeing a logo. It's more value. If you're attending this conference, like, I would expect that you want to talk and meet with suppliers who you want to know more about. It's not just to them about one thing about this industry is I haven't seen very many pushy sales companies. this is a These are big expensive machines. These are large investments. So, they're very patient in these types of things. And so if you're someone who's going to be attending this, I'm almost going to require and expect that you are interacting with these companies and they are doing the same for you because they're making this happen. Um, Scrolling down a little bit on the homepage, you can view this on mobile, freezedriedsummit.com. This is the conference in September. You can kind of see here. So this right here, dinner and drinks. So I'm going to have my own kind of social on Sunday evening. So if you're going to be here on Sunday the 21st or by that time, I'm going to have my own type of like meet and greet somewhere, maybe a brewery or something like that, and meet all of you ahead of time, ahead of the conference. Monday got a lot of content. This is the big day. Okay, so breakfast is going to be provided. I'm also going to have a keynote speaker talking about general business topics, maybe some specific to freeze drying. Then we're going to have three different breakout sessions, periods throughout this whole event during the 2 days. So there's going to be 9 total breakout sessions with different topics. Let me get into that real quick. So I've got this written down right here on this piece of paper. So a couple of topics already is how to create a freeze drying recipe, because a freeze drying recipe is different than what you might think. Yes, there's a component of I'm going to make a freeze dried cereal bar. I've got an idea for heavy protein in it and also some carbohydrates. And maybe it's just this like high powered um, type of cereal bar. Well, yes, you know what the components are prior to freeze drying, but what's the freeze drying recipe part of that? So when you go into the freeze dryer, how much product are you going to put in? How quickly are you going to get to the hot temperature? How quickly is the vacuum going to get to this pressure? If you don't want a ton of shrinkage, then how much pressure are you going to do on the freeze dryer? And then after it gets done, what's the recipe for application? So are you going to powderize it? Are you going to make it a freeze-dried snack like you would with a freeze-dried strawberry? Or are you going to make a rehydrated type of product? All of these things are part of a freeze-drying recipe, and we're going to have a topic and a speaker about that specifically. We're also going to have a speaker about how to grow a freeze-drying business. Um, Part of this is going to be from a perspective of Gene Ligman from Suntour. He's a freeze drying consultant, and he's going to talk about all the requirements to have a growing freeze drying business. So if you start cottage food, what's the next level? What's the next level? And once you get to more of a facility where you have a commercial freeze dryer, what do you all need to do that? And how do you make it possible? He's going to do that. I'm going to do more of the beginner side. That's easy for me because I've come at it from an actual point of view of a freeze dried business owner. Excuse me. And so I'm going to come at it and do a breakout session more from the perspective of freeze drying 101 basics. What type of freeze dryer should you buy? Should you even get into this? How do you research your audience? How do you research your competition? How do you make yourself different? All those different things are going to be part of that. One thing I'm really excited about is I'm going to have different uh, also people from different backgrounds in freeze drying. So I've got someone also from the freeze dried floral industry, and they're going to talk from their over 20, 30 years of experience about freeze dried floral areas. I'm also going to have um, uh, also someone from freeze dried pet food coming as well. So a lot of great content is going to come out from these breakout sessions, as well as we're going to talk about marketing, social media, how do you get into that, best practices, everything to equip you with that. So enough about that. I know I can ramble here, so let me stop sharing my screen and let me get to the chat here. So, all right. Lori says, "Yep, looks good. Just getting to these chats. I'd love to attend, but with money tight right now, it's just not much right now." Yep, totally understand. And again, you can. There's going to be more opportunities to join this conference. It's 5 months away, I think, as starting in March, 5.5 months ish. So still plenty of time to get good deals on flights, good deals on this conference, things like that. So if you can save up the money, I think you'll have a great time, and this will be definitely worth your while. Um, I do want to talk about. Um, oh, let's see. I had something on my mind, and I couldn't remember now. But oh, let me reshare my screen here. Sorry. Just wanted to show you how quick and easy the registration is. So we can go up to purchase tickets up at the top right. You're one step away. Simply, one, your ticket includes breakfast and lunch both days, refreshments like coffee, some different snacks, things like that. All the breakout session access. So you're going to have your own opportunity to schedule what sessions you want to go and attend. And then, but you'll have access to all breakout sessions and also playback recordings of the sessions that we can record at the conference. So hotel and airfare is going to be on you, and I'll have a link out to the available rooms and the actual conference location here very soon. So you can sign up, fill out your name, and click on early bird. It's normally going to be 297, so you're getting $100 off right now for attending the Freeze Dried Summit right now if you purchase a ticket. And then you can pay with all your standard credit cards, Google Pay, Amazon Pay, Apple Pay, all of that. And then I've just got some questions just to ask you kind of where you're at in your freeze drying business perspective. So, are you currently selling? Do you have a business yet? What type of freeze dryer do you have? All that type of stuff would really help me better understand, one, topics, who's attending, all of that. And then you just purchase your ticket. I'll send you a confirmation, your receipt. Um, Also, I've got plenty of options for. I don't like stating that there's a cancellation policy because I want everybody to attend and not cancel. But there is a cancellation policy, full refund, 60 days out from the conference, and then you'll get a 50% refund 30 days out. And then because I've got a lot of reservations and things tied into this, you just if you cancel within 30 days or less from the conference, then there won't be a refund. So plenty of time for you to one, purchase your ticket now, think about it, and then I'll obviously notify you later on when the kind of like the last time to refund will take place. Yeah. DIY easy to make a ticket purchase. Yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I really wanted to make this easy. I also wanted to make it affordable right now. I know that there's conferences out there that are 600, $800, and maybe that's eventually what this conference might be like. I hope not necessarily. I hope I get enough money from sponsors and people that can make it cheaper for people to attend, and that way it's more about the content and everything. But I also want everyone who's going to attend here to be serious about why they're attending, and that's going to be not only valuable for you but also valuable for vendors and sponsorships. Like, people are very intentional about attending. They're not just attending because it's just like they want to buy a freeze dryer and start freeze drying to save for their garden, although that's a reason to buy a freeze dryer. But this conference is about starting a business. So by the way, this particular live stream in the video description, you'll see this is all a part of Freeze Dried February. And if you're not aware of Freeze Dried February, it was started a couple years back by the inquisitive farm wife, and she has a YouTube channel. You can find that in the video description below. And I believe today is the last day, but you have a way to actually win a medium harvest right freeze dryer and some other prizes as well. And so, if you want to check out her YouTube channel, she's got a playlist that I've linked below in the video description. It's for all these different YouTubers that have done something about freeze drying during freeze dried February, all this whole month. And so if you want to check that out, in the description, she has ways for you to enter to win and put your chance to win one of those freeze dryers. But really great content that she's got in the playlist. She's put all of this together. I was supposed to do my video on freeze dried milkshake bites, but I couldn't get it to export in my editing software, and so I'm still working on that. So I wanted to make sure that she got some promotion out of this particular live stream. So if you haven't checked that out, go to the video description. It's called Freeze Dried February. You can type in the hashtag, you can type in the inquisitive farm wife, and all of that information is there for her. And so you can check that playlist out, and then you'll see all the different content that's there. So if you have any questions, if you're here live, taking a look at what we've got here, let me know right now if you've got any questions about the summit, about the conference, and about freeze drying, anything like that. I'm happy to answer that while we're on this call right now. And I'm going to end it in a couple minutes. But if you want to join another live stream later today, it's actually in about an hour. I'm going to be interviewing the Stensland family farms, the two brothers, Jason and Justin, who started their freeze dried ice cream company. And if you want to check out those videos, I released them earlier this month. And it just profiles their company in Iowa, how they started, everything like that. But this particular live stream is going to be a live Q&A talking with them, one, about how they started their business, what's it like now in February since I interviewed them in August of last year. And also, you're going to get a chance to ask them questions live in the chat, as well as you can submit questions early on to ask them. So it's only though for my email subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber of the Freeze Dry Business email list, go to freezedrybusiness.com, and you can become a subscriber. When you do, it's not only you get access to these live streams that you're going to do with Stensland, which I will make available the recording in YouTube later on after it's done, but you'll also get access to information about people I'm seeing in freeze drying, information about the conference, information about news and freeze drying, different thoughts I've got to help you in your business. And so you can become a subscriber to that. And it's actually one of the most, I think, one of the most informative freeze drying email lists that you can find, because it's not a bunch of promotion of all my own products and, it's things that are just irrelevant to you. This is a very focused email resource for you. So, um, Lori, thanks for coming. I am looking for business information. Thank you so much. Awesome. Yeah. You're driving up. Perfect. Make sure you sign up, and that way you've got some of your you got the event registration all in. You got that early bird pricing. Thanks for everyone for attending the live stream today. And go sign up to join the Freeze Dried Summit, freezedriedsummit.com. It's in the video description. It's the first ever freeze drying conference that you're going to find. It's September 22nd, 23rd in Boise, Idaho. Hope to see you then, and take care. Have a great weekend.